Hey everyone, this is going to be another fairly quick video. I've just made a couple of enhancements to the theme creator over the past couple of days, one of which I think you'll be very happy very happy in using, or at least knowing it's there. And then I'll go into another topic after. But anyway, let's get into version 1082, which by the time you see this video should actually be released on the forum. Okay, so not much in the way of visuals this time. Let me see, I'll go with the fix first and then the changes. So if I find a horizontal, here you go, horizontal wheel. Okay. One of the things that was brought to my attention on Friday evening was the horizontal wheel assists. So horizontal curved top and bottom, and this was an oopsie on my part. I had them listed in the menu, but there was zero code behind those menu options. So if you select them, it was plugging null values into all these wheel properties, and lo and behold, it would cause the application to crash. So I quickly went in and I created the properties to create a curved horizontal wheel for top and bottom, and I've plugged those values into the assist, so that won't cause a crash now. All right, so my bad, my apologies for that. So that was a fix, and then let me pick, let me see, you've already seen this one, so I'll go into this Gallagher sequence, which contains an animated GIF. And what I've done here is I've added a new property, and as you can see on screen now in the editor, it's actually animating, even though it looks like it's color cycling. Trust me, it's an animated GIF. And I have this option here, animate in editor. I switch it off, and now the animated GIF is just a simple single frame image. Switch it on, you can see it animating, and you'll see it animating not only in here, but in the preview window as well. Okay. I did want to put out a warning. I did mention in my last video that I can do animated GIFs, and clearly I can, but you should be warned that depending on the size of these files and how many you plan to use at any one point in time, it will potentially cause the theme creator and basically anything for that matter to bomb. Okay, so hence the warning here that they do consume a high amount of memory resources, and obviously the more that you plan to use at any one point in time could cause problems. So I wanted to make it clear, there is a clear warning, but at least, you know, if you're being careful and you do want to see your animated GIFs within the editor and obviously within the preview, now you can do so. All right. Okay, so that's an addition, and like I said, if I hit save with that option on in the preview, we see the animated GIF. All right, now I can remain in here, or I can pick a different theme, which I'll do, and it doesn't really matter which view I'm going to go into, but I'll go into this one. And so you may have you know, gone in and you may have, I don't know, picked a color, any color, you know, whatever it may be. All right, and you're like, oh crap. Okay, so now you have undo. And you can do all kinds of stuff. So you may have had focus on this particular UI element. You inadvertently hit the delete key. You're like, oh crap, how am I going to get everything back? I've done a lot of changes and I don't want to really discard. Well, that's okay. Again, you can right click, undo, delete, or you can hit Control Z. I'm hitting Control Z, and there you go. We're back again. All right. Same is true if you inadvertently deleted the the wrong group from that screen, from the element list, and you're like, what the hell did I just do? Again, Control Z. And it's bringing everything back. Although I probably will make a quick change to this so that it serves as like one unit of work, so that when you deleted the group, all the elements within the group and the group themselves will be treated as one activity, instead of what it's done here. It's basically taken a snapshot of every single event that occurred within that delete. So I'll make it a single unit of work, and that's not difficult to do. So that's it. I've come to the end of the undo, but also this just goes to show that I've got multiple iterations that are being saved behind the scenes. I've actually set the limit to 20 at the moment. So you know, you can make a fair amount of changes and undo quite a fair way, so it should help a lot. So that was deleting an entire group. You know, again, if you're playing with this, you could have moved a group down, lower, or up, you know, higher up in the Z order list. Again, you can hit Control Z, puts it back to where it was. Let's see, I could lock everything at a group, and I'll be like, you know, I'm just being lazy, I'm just hitting Control Z, it'll just simply unlock. You know, so with the exception of deleting a group and all the contained elements, and I'll make a tweak before I put it out on the forum, essentially undo is there, and it seems to be working quite nicely as it's intended. So it's been a long time coming, and it took a fair amount of time. Friday night, and for the most part of Saturday, I had to go through 7,000 lines of code in order to inject commit points, so that it would essentially save before a change or a delete or an addition or a paste was being made. Okay. Yeah, speaking of which, so if I hit copy, and what was I going to do? If I hit one of these, copy, and then paste, and I've pasted it down here, Control Z, it's gone. So, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, it took me a while, went through 7,000 lines of code, injected all the commit points. Should be good going forward. adding new properties or adding new processing, I'll just borrow from what I've now added to the code, so it'll all be consistent, and obviously undo is now highly and tightly integrated with the code within the editor. So that's pretty much it. Those were the two, undo being the biggest enhancement, animated GIFs, an enhancement nonetheless, and then one fix. And that's what I plan to put out for 1082. All right. I've got some other changes planned for this particular version, and I've kind of pigeonholed it for 1083. I'm going to have to build a new user control in order to make this processing work, and it should probably take me a week. I was planning on doing it this weekend, but undo, I didn't realize the extent of what I had to ultimately go through with undo, so that took up all my time. So this other thing, it will probably take me another week. I may have another video to show off next weekend and talk about that new feature. If all works out well, I think you'll like this a lot. I think it's going to be fairly cool, and it was something that a user on the Launchbox forum had actually had in mind and not requested of me, but he was wanting it created either by myself or by another third party that could be integrated into a BigBox theme. And I said, no, I'll do it and integrate it into the creator. So anyway, more on that when I get it done. But another thing that I wish to kind of talk about, and it's theme creator, related, but not as far as changes are concerned, is really I'm toying with the idea of actually setting up a Patreon site or a Patreon account, and the problem I'm having is because it's a paid site. Where I'm having a hard time is, how do I justify your payments? What can I do to ensure that you're getting your money's worth? And some of the ideas that I had off the top of my head were access to interim builds of the software, so you don't have to wait for, let's say this release on the forum. You could have had different flavors of that build throughout the course of a 48-hour period. Okay, as and when I'm happy that it's stable, it's not crashing, I put it out there, and you've got access to it. You can give feedback. I can make some changes very quickly, share that change, and there you go. So that's one idea. So providing interim builds of the theme creator. The other idea I had in addition to was, as I'm making these changes, and as long as they're small changes, manageable changes, I could certainly record how I go about making those coding changes. What's my thought process? Where I'm making the code changes within the theme creator. Why am I making these code changes in the theme creator? That kind of thing. Or why am I making changes to that particular area in the theme creator? So if you wanted to see kind of more of an insight as to my thought process and how I go about these things, that's something that I'm more than willing to do. For large enhancements, I don't know if that would really be beneficial to you or I, because as long as I know I'm being recorded, and sometimes I get up, I kind of walk around, I pace, give it some thought, I sit back down, and then I start planning out how I'm going to tackle a fairly large enhancement, I think you might find that a tad boring. So I'm more than willing to share my coding sessions with bite-sized changes that I know exactly where I need to make the changes, why I need to make the changes, and obviously provide some insight as to why in this area of the code am I making this particular change to make this particular feature work or this particular enhancement work. All right, so those are two things. The other thing too is, as you know, the theme creator can build themes. It can create static images that you can use for clear logos, banners, you name it, basically custom images. And if you hadn't guessed by now, you can create little introduction videos. So, one thing I was kind of toying around with, and I'm not a graphics artist, I can get by, but by no means I'm not a graphics artist. But I've got a fairly decent keen eye on how things should look. I'm okay. So the other thing I could think of is if a group of you that were on the Patreon site had some ideas about how you would wish some custom images to be created, I would be more than willing to, collaborate with those ideas, and together we can come up with some templates, and I go ahead and create, not only build the templates and I can do it live, but actually have the templates and generate all the custom images and then ultimately share them with those users on the site. So those are some of the ideas that I have that would hopefully, at least in my mind, would give you your money's worth beyond what you have today, which is obviously a free copy of the theme creator on the forum, but it's when I plan to put it out, when I think it's ready, versus the state of play within major releases, so which could be a couple of months apart, and then ultimately some things that you would like to see in your own theme, but you're kind of unsure about how you would go about doing it, having the assets available to you, and essentially building custom images and whatnot. So give it some thought. I would like to I would certainly like to see what ideas you have. Please provide some feedback in the comments regarding this. Like I said, it's something I would like to do. It's something that just goes beyond putting out these videos, which really just gives a breakdown of what the new changes, fixes, enhancements are. I just feel that I can certainly do a lot more. Okay, so again, let me know, and like I said, by the time this video goes out, 1082 should be out, and I hope you appreciate the amount of time it took me to go through 7,000 lines of code to add undo. But anyway, take care, and in about another week, hopefully I'll be demonstrating another feature. All right, so take care, take it easy.